Lana. Welcome back to my bathroom. Today I wanted to do a My Most Embarrassing Moments video. Now, I have a lot of embarrassing moments. I am just, at heart, I come across like I know what I'm doing, but at heart, I don't have a clue. Never do, never have, never will. Okay, and I'm a goober. I'm just about the biggest goober. When I had my kids and they were little, my oldest one is 33 now, my youngest one is 29. But when they were little, they called us the Farkle family, and I was Mrs. Farkle. And, well, I was Miss at that time, but I am a Farkle, and that's okay. It's fine. I understand. It's fine. Okay, so the first embarrassing moment, this was the very first embarrassing moment that I could remember, and there's been many since. But the first embarrassing moment was I went to a Catholic school, and there was a kid behind me that needed help with something on a paper, I don't know. And the teacher called my name, and I was torn between going back to help him and standing up to answer the question, but we had to stand up by our desk. So I popped up, stood up, and went to answer the question, and I opened my mouth, and my skirt fell right to the floor. And I didn't know what to do. The entire class just cracked up laughing. And I thought, okay. You think it's funny? I'll just stand here and answer the question. And I went off on like a 2-minute dissertation on what the answer was, and everybody, the nun was even in tears. She was laughing because it didn't bother me. I stood there in my underpants, my skirt wrapped around my ankles. I didn't care. And to this day, I don't care. If people think I'm a goober, I just say don't judge. It's me. I'm me. You just love me or hate me. You can't change me. Okay. The second one is, I grew up a little bit, and I lived in a foster home, and I had saved and saved and saved, and I got my first car. I was so excited. This car was a 1969 something. It was an old beater car, but I had saved for it, and I was so excited. My foster dad said to me the morning that I got it, he said, "Now, Lana, I want to make sure that you're safe in this car, so I want you to take it to this corner service station and ask the guy there, he's going to come out, and ask him, tell him that you think your Nelson joint is going out, and ask him if he can check it under the hood, or does he have to put it up on top of the lift." And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I get to go and do something mechanical to my car. I'm so excited, my first car. So I got all dressed up, and I got behind the wheel of our car, had my little handbag with me, and I had a little pink outfit, and I pulled into the service station, and back then, when you pulled over, you ran over those little things, it went ding, ding. And it was just so exciting. So I rolled my window down, and the mechanic says, "Can I help you, ma'am?" And I said, "Yes." So I felt so big and important. I said, "Yes, I think my Nelson joint is going out, and could you check for that under the hood, or do you have to put it up on the lift to check it?" And he goes, "Excuse me?" And I said, my Nelson joint is going out, and do you have to look, can you look under the hood, or are you going to have to put it up on the lift? And he goes, "What?" And I repeated it for the third time, and he looked at me, and I said, "My Nelson joint, I'm sure it's going bad. My car's not safe. I need my Nelson joint looked at." And he looked in the window, looked me dead in the eye, and he said, "Lady, cars ain't got no Nelson joint." I just said, "Thank you," rolled my little window back up, and took off. I had been had. Cars don't have a Nelson joint. I didn't know that. I don't even know what a Nelson joint is, but the next one is, they just go on and on and on. I could have video cameras set up for 10 years and not tell you. The next one was, I got older, and I began to date, and gorgeous, this guy was unbelievable. Businessman, successful, worldwide. He had been all over the world, and it was before I was a flight attendant, and he saw me, and he said, "You are the girl I've been looking for all my life. Will you go out for dinner with me?" Well, and gosh, a gorgeous guy in a 3-piece business suit asked you like that. I was like, I hadn't dated much, I had not been around at all. So I said yes, and the time came, and I dressed I found this cute little sweater, and I just felt like I was on top of the world. This was like going to be a dream date. So he takes me to this wonderful romantic restaurant, and he says, "I'll order for you." I'd never really, this was one of my very first dates. So I was like, oh, okay. And you have to understand, I'm a farm girl from Indiana, never been around anything. And so he orders for me, and it was a seafood platter, and they bring this little, I didn't know it then, but what it was the melted butter for the lobster and the shrimp and the crab. And I said, oh, they brought me my own candle. That is so nice. And he was like, no, that's butter for your seafood. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything about it. So the outfit that I had a sweater with bell sleeves, and I was going through my seafood, and I just happened to reach, and the dinner, and it was going to be dinner and dancing. So when I reached across my plate, my sleeve caught on one of the crab legs, and it was stuck there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? He said dancing after dinner. I don't want to mess this up. So I took my arm and kind of flung it like that, and the crab leg, it was about this long, and they're all prickly. It landed on the floor, kind of far from the table, and I knew if he asked me to dance, I was going to get up, and he was going to see that crab leg. And I already made a fool of myself with the butter. So I took my foot and kind of went out and nudged it and kicked it under the table, and right about that time, he went like this and looked at me, and he reaches down. The crab leg had stuck to his sock. I was mortified. And the date ended pretty quickly after that, and he walked me to my door, and he said, it's a shame about you country hick girls. You're never going to get out of your small towns, and you've got the mentality of a bunny. And I was just like, oh well, your loss, I don't care. It didn't bother me. I totally mortified myself. I didn't really care. I thought, who wants to go out with a guy that's got a stick shoved up his butt? Not me. So I didn't think anything about it, and about 10 years went by, and I was on a flight from Paris to New York. And guess who's sitting in first class? It's him. And he grabs my hand, and he said, I had matured. I'd been around the world by then. I got out of the backyard. And he grabbed my hand, and he said, do you want to try this again, Lena? I've thought about you over the years, and I'd really like, maybe we could go to dinner when we get to New York City. And I said, I thought about it for a second. Now, this guy, his age had been really good to him. He looked really good. I looked at him. I bent down real close to his ear, and I looked at him, and I said, who's your bunny now? And just turned around and walked down the aisle. It was wonderful. It made me feel so good because no man was going to be worth that. I mean, once an ass, always an ass. Once a dick, always a dick. Anyway, I've probably run out of time. I will have more most embarrassing moments for you. This is, I'm going to tag everybody that's got an embarrassing moment because I'm sure a lot of you have. I've got more. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.